Hey guys, Ricky Lock here, back once again. I hope everyone's having a great day as always. Bit overdue for a video, and I apologize for that, but either way, we're back, and today we're going to take a look at this Pac-lock here. Bit late to the game on this. A lot of people have already made their videos and suggestions on how to improve this lock, but we're still going to take a look at it, and we're going to pick it and see what it has inside. I'm sure most of you have already seen it, but it's the block lock. It's a prototype by Pac-lock. Awesome idea for a shutter lock that uses the same cores as their puck locks. This one has a SFIC, but basically same mechanism, same cores on their normal puck locks, and there's the key. And what it does is it rotates this shackle in a way that can slide out of these two hardened inserts here. So as far as suggestions go, everything that I thought about has already been covered by other people in the lock sport community, but either way, I'll go through a few of them. The suggestion from Bill to put a hardened insert down here, that's a great idea. That also came to mind when I first took a look at this. Because of the possibility of someone cutting through this with a hacksaw and just twisting the top piece off here. Second suggestion right off the bat that I thought of was some of the chamfering isn't done on some of these edges, but that's already been fixed, I believe, in their version 2. And this whole assembly here has been moved over significantly to allow for basically more uses for this lock. You could use it with bigger chains, you can use it on more hasps, and even I've seen some people using it on motorcycles, so you can probably use it on bigger variety of stuff basically. I think they're also planning on making a version that takes the SFICs and maybe even LFICs and Schlag interchangeable cores. I think that's an awesome idea. I think there's enough room there for that. Just barely, but I think they even widened this, because on the originals the core is in this way. But anyway, that's always an option. I think it would be cool if they offered a steel version. Not sure if they're going to be doing that. I know it would cost significantly bit more. But yeah, this is as you can see, this is the lanyard version. They have the other version that this would bolt directly to a door, and then you would close the door and it would be in your hasp, and then you would lock it up that way. But I opted for the tethered version. I'm going to be using it on my mom's shed for testing, because they wanted people to test these. They want them in use in the real world and to get input down the road, like a year later, see how they held up and how they worked out for the people that have tested them for them. But like I said, works beautifully, and one of the ways this would be used, it would be, for my use, it would be on the shed this way, and then you'd be having to pick it from the top. Some shackles, or hasps I should say, it would be oriented either this way or this way, and like I said, on my shed where the hasp is vertical like this. Some people may just slap it on there with the keyway facing down, which is probably what I'll end up doing. Is it's probably the most ideal way to put it on the hasp there. But just to make things easier for me, and I know some people will think, well, you're cheating, but I'm going to be picking it in the vise. Oops. I'll fix my camera here. I'm going to be picking it in the vise like this. But I have picked it upright like this, which makes it significantly harder. And in fact, it took me probably twice as long to do, just because the odd angle, the lack of feeling. Not used to picking that way. But yeah, we're going to just get her picked like this, and then we'll check what's inside. I haven't opened this thing up yet. I know on the paperwork it says it's a bump-proof cylinder. I don't know what they have in here that makes it bump-proof. I'm kind of curious to see that. But use my 50 thousandths pry bar and my go-to pick. Right to the back, 6-pin. Kind of a weird feeling on this. I know the first time I picked it, it took forever to get into this thing. And I was going to do an out-of-the-box pick of this thing too, but I would have made a fool of myself. But that's the real world sometimes. Counter rotation on 1, on 3, 4, 5, I believe. Feels like the core is turning back for all of these, but I don't think they're all spools. There we go. And even after I feel what I think is a set pin, it still kind of gives me counter rotation, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Could just be the way I'm picking it here. A hard time to get under 6. I must admit too, I'm a bit rusty. I haven't picked a whole lot lately. I gotta get back into my game here. Some feels overset. I have to release a bit. Oh, there's our false set. Oh, there we go. Open on 1, and core comes out. So put that back, put that away, and put that away. And let's see about getting into this. Coincidentally, I did just work on a master lock, Pac-lock, for my mom's neighbor. They had broken off a key in it, and I was lucky I got to take it home and do all the work in my nice warm house. It's pretty cold out here in Canada. And yeah, I made a roll pin punch out of some of that brass that I used to make my picks. So if this is made how I think it is, I believe there's a roll pin in there, and be able to use that punch that I made. I think I have all the Allen keys for this as well. Yeah. I should be ready. I don't think I need to take this all the way out. I'll just leave it in there. So put that aside, and yeah, sure enough, we have a roll pin in there. I'm going to lock it back up since I have the key. Um, I should have brought out my anvil. I hate to use this lock as an anvil, but I don't think it'll hurt anything. And there's our roll pin out. And this should just pop right off. Wonder how hard this is. And I believe this little guy retains the core and keeps it limited to a 90-degree turn clockwise. And since there is a slot milled in there, I'm definitely going to shim it. Hate to I was looking at the master core and they did such a horrible job of milling that slot, and it actually kind of got me mad, because I was thinking there's got to be such a better way of doing this. Actually, I'll turn it this way. Avoid that. No, I would be avoiding the slot. Oh, sorry guys. Be avoiding the slot if I turn it this way. And my follower, there she is. So we should be able to slide this out. 6 pins, which is nice to see. And there's that slot, and I don't know if it's possible, but I really wish this wasn't the same width as the chambers, holes for the pins, because if someone doesn't know what they're doing, it's going to be pretty easy to drop a driver down in there and seize up the whole core. And with no way in the top, you're never going to get it apart. But I don't know if that's possible or not, because this screw would have to be pretty small at the tip, if you know what I mean, for that slot to be, if you wanted that slot smaller than the diameter of a pin, so no pins could fall down in there. Like I said, I don't know if it's possible, but I always thought it would be nice to see, so you don't have people breaking up their cores. Anyway, pin 2 came out already. 1 standard. Oh, we screwed up on the count there. There we go. So all standard key pins. I know the drivers aren't all standards. We got a spool. We got serrated. Give a close-up on these in a second. Spool. Serrated. Spool, and last but not least, that went across the room, but let's see if I can eye it out from here. Oh sweet, my cat's gonna help me. Maybe not. Sweet, I found it. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, standard. Okay. So we'll give you a close-up on these. Where's my tweezers? What a mess we have here. But pretty nice pins. All the key pins are standard. And we have alternating spool, serrated, spool, serrated, spool, standard. Those serrations are pretty deep too. Kind of like that. So that's what we have. Like I said, I didn't have many recommendations, but really happy with the lock overall. Few things that could be changed, like I mentioned, like others have already mentioned, but overall I think it's a pretty well built lock. Video is getting long, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys have any comments, put them below. You know what to do. And as always, don't give lock pickers a bad name. Don't pick anything that doesn't belong to you or that you don't have permission to pick. Alright guys, see you on the next one. Take care. Merry Christmas.